What's good, everybody? My name is Nathan here, and welcome to something very different. So I had this idea for a long time now, and I'm finally getting around to doing it. This is the official tier list of all of the NQJ skits, all of the main skits. However, we do have a little straggler down here, Dolphins 3, little thing I gotta just mention as well. If you haven't noticed, Dolphins 3 and 4 kind of got a little bit switched up a little bit, so I really hate Dolphins 3, so we actually kind of pitched it. That was just like a collective agreement that's a good idea, because this skit was horrendously bad. So what we did is we took Dolphins 4 and then turned it into 3. So it's still a trilogy, but we also just have this little straggler down here, which we're not going to count. So we have our tiers right here. We have Absolute Banger, which is just the perfect NQJ. Pretty good. Like, you know, they're pretty solid fucking videos, you know what I mean? Like, they're just on the cusp of greatness. Solid, you know, on its own, it's a great time. Does the job, it's just kind of there. You know what I mean? You watch it, you forget it, move on. A bit stinky means that it's a video that is just like the name entails, just kind of a bit shit. A lot of stuff could be fixed, and a lot of stuff could make it better. And then Absolute Shitter, it's beyond saving. Fuck this thing. So here we go, boys. So also what I did was I categorized these by series. So we're doing all the Dolphins, all the Dumb Factors, and then the Facebooks, Finger Bangs, Yells, Taekwondo, and then so on and so forth. And then we're going to do all of these standalone originals at the very end. We've also included the NQJ movie, which a lot of people haven't even fucking seen because it's on a porn site. But I digress. Starting off the list is going to be Dolphins 1, which is going to be an absolute shitter, no questions asked. This skit sucks balls, dude. I understand that it's the first video and therefore, like, it's the shittiest, but it's such a bafflingly horrible video that it's genuinely embarrassing, and the fact that we didn't delete it is because it's the first one. If this was, like, the 7th skit we've ever made, it would definitely be canned no matter what. Same with its sequel, which is also going in shitter. I do like the sequel more, though. They're both just really horrible videos, just in every way, shape, and form. The editing sucks, the writing sucks, the acting sucks. Literally everything about these first two Dolphins is dog shit. But then we get to Dolphins 3, which is what used to be 4. Dolphins 3 is pretty fucking funny. Like, the whole microwave bit is just genuinely hilarious as fuck, and I cannot watch it without chuckling. It's not a great video. Like, it's not something that you're going to be like, oh yeah, that one was sick. It's not going to be that. So I just threw it up here to throw it up here, but I genuinely like where I put it at solid. I think it's just a really solid, good time. Shit. Now we move on to Dumb Factor 1. Now, Dumb Factor 1 is a step in the right direction in terms of writing, but editing and acting is still a stinker. So no matter what, it's better than these two, but it's horrible. And even with Dumb Factor 2, which I'm also going to put in a stinker, we have a lot of stinkers off the bat because we got mainly the Renaissance videos first, Season 1. It's pretty much just Dumb Factor again. It's not really like a great video, but it's very quotable. I know that for a fact. Dumb Factor 2 is a very quotable video. But it really is just a slightly better version, but not slightly enough to get out of shitter. Dumb Factor 3, I'm going to put below 2 because it's not even meant to be an actual skit. It's just meant to be a little thing that is a tease towards Season 2, which is when we were actually going to start trying. Dumb Factor 3 is just like, let alone the fact that it's 2 minutes long, it's way too damn short to even be considered a skit. And it's just bad because it wasn't made to be genuine. It was made to just be this stupid thing that we did. Dumb Factor 4, on the other hand, we really stepped the game up. And when I mean step the game up, I mean go from shit to stink. Dumb Factor 4, at the time, was the longest video because all of our videos ranged for like 4 minutes. This one clocked in at 11, and that was like a mind-blowing experience because it was heavily inspired by Saw and multiple skits on here. Once we get the twist, you'll understand why. But yeah, Dumb Factor 4 had a lot of great ideas. Honest to God, it needs to be remade. Because I bet you that if we remade Dumb Factor 4 just as is, it would fucking smack. That video would kick ass. If it was exactly the same, just with modern day acting and editing, that skit would be a baller. Without a doubt, hands down, the best of the Dumb Factors is Part 5. Because Part 5 is pretty standalone. What I did notice is that they all kind of follow the same exact story. Dumb Factor kind of has a really you can watch any Dumb Factor by itself and it'll make sense, but Dumb Factor 5 is what is the best of that, because all the characters die in 4, but then only the characters who die appear in 5, which makes the whole thing pretty much take place in the afterlife. But it's just so funny, and it has such an awful twist to the point where the reason why he's saying these facts to us is because he wants to fuck us is just the most insane thing, and it just changes it's just a great video. Dumb Factor 5 is just an absolute banger. All right, it's not an absolute banger, but it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Mr. Facebook is next. No. Mr. Facebook, I felt really bad because Mr. Facebook, I think, was my first video. It was my first one that I, came up with the idea. I wrote it. I did everything. Like Mr. Facebook was my creation, essentially, and it sucks fat balls. Mr. Facebook 2 is such an embarrassingly bad video just in every single degree. The writing is dog shit, especially. The acting is terrible on everybody's end, including myself as the main fucking character and villain. Just everything about it stinks. And it's also the fact that this video is embarrassing to every degree, because when we made this, we were freshmen in school, and not even know how the fuck this even went about, but people showed me, through Snapchat and social media and shit, that they were watching Mr. Facebook in class. Like the teacher put on Mr. Facebook for them to watch. That blew my mind. My little 16-year-old self seeing myself on a freaking TV in a classroom being played Mr. Facebook was the most insane concept ever. And it was really cool at the time, but the older I got, the more time has passed, because that was 5-something years ago. Now I hate it. This next one is kind of really super embarrassing because it's also a big stinker, but it's definitely better than all these guys before it. Mr. Facebook 2 is just trash. It really is. It was the definition of rushed. That we literally went to go make it in half an hour time. There was zero plan. There was I don't even know, dude. It was just so bad. It was so rushed. It was so shit. There is a real life 5-year time jump between Facebook 1 and 2, and the fact that both of them suck ass pretty much confirms that if we ever did make Mr. Facebook 3, mark my words, that bitch will be a fucking banger. I've always thought that would be so funny to have 2 dog shit videos and then the king of all of them right after it. I thought that'd be so funny, but as of now, Mr. Facebook is just an overall stinky ass franchise. I'm gonna sound like a broken record, but Fingerbang is also an absolute shitter. Now, the only reason why I'm really heavily on shitter right now is just because all the new all the old shit are the stinkers. But Fingerbang is just really, really rough. Fingerbang 1 is really rough because there is nothing to it. It's probably the most forgettable skit on the entire list. There is almost zero dialogue in the whole thing. Take out the word gay, and I bet you there is 6 words said in this whole fucking thing. It is genuine. It's pretty much just a showcase of special effects and what we can do with just a gun pop sound effect. It's a great idea. I love the title and I love the concept. Everything else is fucking shit. Actually, because of the title alone, I'm gonna probably move it up a little bit. I genuinely, I would put it there. I would actually put it there because the title, calling it Fingerbang, and your fingers are literally banging, that's great. That's fucking genius, and I will take full credit on that one. 4.5 years later, we made Fingerbang 2, and the whole reason behind Fingerbang 2's existence was to change it up in a way that no one would ever suspect, because at the time, Facebook and Fingerbang never got sequels. There were 4 dolphins and 5 dumb factors, but Facebook and Fingerbang didn't get shit, and I didn't really want to make Facebook 2, so I was like, cool, we'll make Fingerbang 2, and the whole concept of it was just to knock everybody off their fucking head with how different and weird it was. Fingerbang 2 also having just zero dialogue pretty much solidified what a Fingerbang skit is. It has no dialogue and has gun finger shits. Having it just be a depressing little sad montage followed by the main character of number 1 killing himself. It was funny. It was a really out of left field idea that I just enjoyed straight through. It's not like a really memorable skit. I'm going to put it in solid because I want to do does the job, but I do kind of like the direction. Like, I do like the sad version of it. Like, it's fun. It's just an overall, like, fun video. You know what I mean? Like, it's just cool. I like it. It's solid. We got the yells next, my boy, and I'm going to piss a lot of people off and shock a lot of people with what I do with this yell series right here, right? I'm going to put yell 1 in does the job. And the reason why I'm going to do that is because yell 1 is a skit of a lot of high highs and a lot of low lows, my boys. The various obvious deleted scene, mine and Johnny's acting was horrendous in this. Like, it was so outlandishly bad. But then you also have stuff like the ending, the entire ending as a whole with the shots, music. It's just funny. Like, it's a great skit. It was just made at the worst time because we didn't know what the fuck we were doing. Like, the whole scene with the, when we beat the shit out of the Humphrey, right, who at the time was just called Yell Guy. At the time, when we beat the shit out of him, and it was those horrible-ass sound effects when we hit him with a golf club and stuff like that, when I made Yell the complete series, I literally took that scene out because of how embarrassing it is. Yell is a skit I would love to remake. Similar to Dumb Factor 4, I would love to just remake it exactly again. Same people, same locations, do it all again. It would be a certified bopper. Yell 2 is a bit interesting as well because at the time, it was like top tier. Like nothing could top Yell 2. And now it's kind of to the point where it's definitely not an S-tier video anymore just because of how much better shit came after it. And honest to God, I actually don't know where I would put these two videos. Dumb Factor 5 is just straight up a more quality video, but Yell 2 is just like, it's the first of like the awesome videos, so I'll probably put Yell 2 above it. But Yell 2 introduces the Infinity Gauntlet into NQJ, which has made like 4 appearances since, and there are plans to bring it back for another video. Yell 2 was also the longest. We beat the record for Dumb Factor 4, which was 11, with a 16-minute skit. And it was just fantastic. It was a phenomenal video. The Smash Bros. Bit was hilarious. The whole beginning we thought was really cool and interesting. It was funnier than hell. Just the entire thing. The Johnny and Humphrey chase through the woods at the end was the best that NQJ was at the time. Like, that was peak when we made that. Like, it was a fantastic video all around. Then shit got real. And after a lot of times where we kind of like canceled it and postponed it and changed up a lot of things, we made Yell 3. And Yell 3 is insane how it turned out. Like, Yell 3 as a concept was so fucking good after all of the dog shit that it went through. Yell 3 may have been one of the worst videos on the channel if we kept some of those original ideas. There was a Christmas-themed video which we did film like the first like 8 minutes, and then we just said fuck it and just canceled the whole thing. Then there was the Humphrey suicide idea. I don't even know if Jacob even remembers this, but it was going to be like 2 minutes long and just showing Humphrey kill himself. That idea was actually reworked into Finger Bang 2. Finger Bang 2 is what Yell 3 would have been. Little fun fact for you. And then we had the idea to bring another slasher in the mix, and that's when everything just went on its fucking head. Because if we brought another slasher in the mix, that would just change the whole game. Because now Humphrey is no longer the villain, he is the hero. He is the protagonist of this story. It was amazingly well written. It had the best fight scene. It had one of the best climaxes still of any NQJ video. Yell 3 is just an absolute banger. It's like a 9 out of 10 video. It's fantastic, especially for the time it was made, because I think it was made during like the height of COVID, and it was a fantastic video all around. Love it. Next, we get to Humphrey's Q&A. Now, Humphrey's Q&A, I'm actually going to be kind of lenient with, and I'm actually going to put it in solid. I'm going to put it above Finger Bang. I'm going to put Humphrey's Q&A in solid, which means that the Q&A I like more than the actual Yell 1. Which is pretty interesting, but Humphrey's Q&A is just an amazing, like, just chill-down video, you know what I mean? You just watch it, have a good time, move on. It's the best at that. It's funnier than hell. It's quotable as shit. Even though it's only, like, 3 minutes long, or, like, 4 or whatever, it's still insanely funny. The whole James bit at the end is great. Like, it's really just a simple, watch it, have a fantastic time, move on, see you next time. That's what Humphrey's Q&A is, and I love it for that. Humphrey's Q&A 2 is actually a skit that was made without even my fucking knowledge, because I was at work and Jacob just sends me a teaser picture for a skit that he made entirely on his own. Humphrey's Q&A 2 is the second skit that is made entirely without me in it. I am included in every single behind the scenes of every single skit besides Motel and Humphrey's Q&A 2. Those are the only videos that I had zero part in. And Humphrey's Q&A 2, I'm going to be honest, I'm going to put it in Does the Job. I'm going to put it next to Yell. Because it's definitely not as good as the first one in terms of, like, comedy. But, like, the writing is really fucking funny. Seeing Humphrey in new location is just fantastic as is. It has a shitload of potential. Like, it's what really put Humphrey's Q&A into a concept. You know what I mean? Like, this was just like a fun little stupid thing for fun. This was something where it's like, oh shit, you can actually make something out of this. We could do 8 of these fucking videos and it wouldn't feel out of place. You know what I mean? Like, I like it. Humphrey's Q&A 2 definitely does the job. You watch it, have a great time. When's the next? You know, that's exactly what it is. Now we get to Taekwondo 1. Oh boy, I'm going to piss some people off with this one, my boys. How to Taekwondo 1, I'm going to put in a bit stinky. Because I think that Taekwondo 1, although yes, it is incredibly quotable and started so much shit, this is the first appearance of Bong Bong. It's the first appearance of Scott Scrotum. It's the first appearance of Grandmaster. Like, it did so much and left such a fucking staple on NQJ to the point where, like the name is like an up here, but this first video alone, just the first one, is kind of really bad. The writing is funny, even though the whole thing is ad-libbed, but like I said, the editing is where it fucks it. The editing is so dog shit in this video. That whole final fight between Scott Scrotum versus Sensei Stewart is super trash. I gotta be honest, I forgot who edited this, but it's not good. It's also technically Quinn's last video, so I don't even know how to really describe it. It's not a good video by any stretch of the imagination, and it's only good in name. But everything that came after it is fucking peak. Which is where we're going to be leading now to How to Taekwondo 2. How to Taekwondo 2 is a fucking banger. I think this video is so funny. It's so perfect in every way. The writing is hilarious. The editing is funnier than hell. It just doesn't tell like a super grand story that Yell 3 and a couple more bangers that are coming up do. How to Taekwondo 2 is the perfect sequel to How to Taekwondo 1 because it just takes everything that was established before and just does it better. This is the remake that I want to make for Yell, if that makes sense. The whole fucking song that just plays over and over of I want to eat your pussy, like that's just it's funny. It's immature and it's funnier than hell. How to Taekwondo 3 also fucking smacks. Honest to God, I think it's better than Yell 3 because of the story it tells. It takes this dumbass skit and then this little one for fun and it turns it on its fucking head and makes it an actual like movie. Like it's literally a simple little YouTube video into like an actual story that can be told. The death of Scott Scrotum was such a perfect idea to make into a full-blown Taekwondo 3 that it just made it great. Bong Bong is now the center of attention. He's the main protagonist, and he just gets dicked on by everyone he knows. There's a brand new villain in the mix. Like, it's just great. It is exactly what a How to Taekwondo officially, like, fully realized video should be. It's funny as hell. The writing is great. Editing is on point. The ending is the only thing I don't really care for. Yes, the rape scene, the gang rape scene is funny, but in terms of it ending a trilogy, it definitely could have been better. It wasn't like Yell where it ended with a bang. It kind of just ended with a dull, like, little, that's funny. So, honest to God, Taekwondo 3 is the only reason why it's not, like, the best skit is the ending, and that's where it ends for me. Up next, we're at Comic Sans. This video took an actual half hour to make, and it turned out to be funny as hell. To the point, I'm going to put it in solid. I think it's a really funny video. It does the job. You know, it's great. It's just a solid video. It has a really cool, funny premise. I think it just may need to get the Taekwondo treatment of like, yeah, it's got 2 videos. They're both kind of fun. But then this third one fucks everything out of the water. Because that's what Comic Sans need. Comic Sans, I feel like, is the only trilogy or excuse me, is the only series on NQJ right now that is in desperate need of a 3. I think Comic Sans as a whole, as an idea, hasn't been fully realized, and the fact that 2 also is kind of stinky, to be fair. I'll put it in does the job because it's just kind of there. Comic Sans has the perfect opportunity to be fully realized and be like exactly what it should be, which is about a boy being transported into a comic book. Like, there's so much ideas you can do with that, and it really does need to be fully realized. But these first 2 videos are just kind of okay. They're fun, they're cool, they're great. Honestly, God, I'm actually gonna put Comic Sans down 2. I do like Dolphins 3 and Humphrey's Q&A more than Comic Sans, but I digress. There's always room for improvement. Up next, we're at El Sharpay. El Sharpay might actually be a shitter. It's either a shitter or it's like the lowest of a bit stinky. Because same with Taekwondo and the Dumb Factors, it's a cool concept, but the editing just sucks ass. The editing, the writing, it's just not that good. It's not like, this is fucking trash, turn it off. It's like, this is kind of dumb. Like, that's what El Sharpay is. El Sharpay Dos, on the other hand, I think is kind of cool. It does the job. It takes the El Sharpay video and gives it a genuine, like, modernize. Is that the word? Modernize? Fucking whatever. It makes it modern. It makes it better. It's like a remake. El Sharpay 2 is pretty much a remake. Kind of like what, the skits that we've talked about before are. Having Bryce be the center of attention is a really controversial and weird idea because he's always been like a little side cameo character, and making him the main focus is a ballsy fucking move just on like an acting and a writing standpoint. But I think it's great. It's also the only NQJ Christmas themed video that's on the channel. I'm gonna weird out a lot of people with this one because no one is gonna agree with me on this, but I genuinely think that So Long Partner 1 is pretty damn good. I think it's really fucking good. I think it's scary as shit. The premise was fucking horrifying when we thought of it. It just tells a story of a guy hallucinating about a horrifying version of a character. And that's just sick. Like, it's just a cool video. But then we get to the sequel, and it's kind of shit because it's kind of just this again. So Long Partner 2 really is just the same first video, just again. It just changes a little bit of things around, but it definitely is also what I would say in need of a 3. It needs that last one to really save the franchise, essentially. Because you have a really actually fun and good video, and then you have one that's kind of just stupid and dumb and weird, and you don't need this at all. And so I really want to have like a 3 in the mix to kind of boost it back up to popularity and be like, okay, So Long Partner ain't that bad. This video, this series kind of fucking hits now because of part 3, which will be coming out. I've bought props for it. It's coming out. The newest in the line of NQJ like trilogies being fully realized, kind of like Yell and Taekwondo, is the Anime Sucks trilogy, which literally gets better and longer as it goes, kind of like Yell. It's a great thing. You have Winnie the Pooh as a central antagonist for all 3 installments, which I think he is actually the only character. I think Winnie the Pooh and maybe Hobbs from Twist is the only villains who like are consistently in every installment and play the villain role in every installment. However, this first one's not too good. I'm going to move that up a little bit. Yeah, this first one is not that good, man. It's really bad in terms of writing. Just I can't stop thinking about the keyboard scene where I'm very obviously just rubbing my fucking fingertips onto a keyboard to try to get it to look like I'm typing. There's just a lot of really questionable decisions in Anime Sucks to the point where it's just kind of a stinker video. Winnie the Pooh is barely fucking in it. Like, I didn't even notice that until I gave it a rewatch a little bit ago. Anime Sucks is kind of a dud. Like, it's kind of just a missed opportunity. There's so much opportunity to make it fucking sick, and it just wasn't until later installments. You know what I'm saying? It needed sequels to save it. Anime Sucks 2 as well, I'm going to say is a pretty good video because it's funny. The writing is one of my favorites. It has so much shit in it that is just so, like, this is my life now type of moments where you have stuff like Courage the Dog is just a character who plays 0 point. He is Goku's guard dog, and all he does is get butt fucked. That's the only reason for his existence, and yet it's one of the funniest and quotable lines of it all. Oh, stop fucking me! Like, it's just sick. Like, it's just a funny ass video. Like, it's just a really good time video, and it really does, like, it's exactly what a sequel should be. It's the exact same thing. It tells the story, continues the story of Anime Sucks 1 that's established with the getting of the DVD from Winnie the Pooh. But it's just better. There's slightly more Winnie the Pooh. There's new characters. The writing is fucking on point. The editing is pretty damn good. I love the climax fight, how it's like meant to look shit by having just two PNGs colliding with a fucking green screen explosion in front of it. It's just an overall great video. Then we get to the most recent big guy, Anime Sucks 3, which there's a lot of threes up here, I noticed. Anime Sucks 3 is a fucking powerhouse video. Not only is it like half an hour long, honest to God, I think it might be my favorite. Is it better than Taekwondo? I do think it's better than Yell 3, to be fair with you, because Taekwondo 3 tells a better story, and I feel like it's funnier than Yell 3, but then this is also just kind of there. Like, it works here, and it works here. Like, I don't know where to put it, so I'm just going to put it right there in the center. Anime Sucks 3 is where the multiverse plot point kicks off, because I really want to start toying around with the idea of the multiverse and NQJ skits, and this is where it really gets fully, like, brought in. It's got a bunch of different versions of Winnie the Pooh. The anime characters are on the fucking Who in this, whatever the hell that means. I don't even know. I just made that up. Winnie the Pooh himself is an actual, like, major character in this, because what I learned from rewatching 1 and 2 before going into 3 is that Winnie the Pooh is kind of barely in it. He has, like, 2 minutes of screen time out of the first 2 videos combined. So Winnie the Pooh is a major fucking force in this that, like, needs to be reckoned with, and that is exactly what I feel was accomplished. Everything is great. The editing is fantastic. The writing is probably the best it's ever been, because it's the most planned out and genuine video that's on NQJ. It's just an overall just great time. Like, there's virtually no negatives to Anime Sucks 3. Honestly, my opinion might change, but I think I might actually put it at top spot for now, because I can't tell you a single genuine negative with Anime Sucks 3. It's just a good ass video on every front. Now we get to Twist. Now, Twist is fucking incredible. I think as of right now, maybe, I'm looking down at this list, and I might be wrong. I'm definitely wrong, but maybe. Twist is in the top 3 best originals. Like, if it doesn't have a number at the end of it, top 3 easily, Twist is in the mix. It's a parody on Saw, because we got the idea after watching Spiral, right, which is where the name comes from, Spiral, Twist, that's it. So we watched Spiral, and then we thought about how funny it would be if we brought in, like, our own version of Saw into NQJ universe. It's incredibly funny. I love the whole, like, the fact that the video buffers is just such, like, a funny and, like, modern day kind of idea that would happen if you were to have Saw in, like, modern day times. The fact that an ad played during the video, like that, everything was just funny. It was just a fully realized idea. The only thing I didn't like about it was the fact that it wasn't longer. I wish that Twist 1 had, like, 5 more minutes of time to it, because it felt like such a great idea, then it stops. And, like, that's exactly the only problem that I had with Twist. Like, the makeup as well is fucking phenomenal. Like, that was just such an amazing thing to actually have a character in NQJ fully decked out in prosthetics and makeup. It was fantastic. It was probably the most professional skit as well at the time. It just didn't tell that good of a story to warrant an absolute banger rating. Twist 2, however, pretty much is exactly what Twist 1 is. It's the same exact video and just style. It just tells a different story with a different trap and different new people thrown into the mix. I think that Twist 2 is really good, but I don't think it's in the pretty good category, because all of these skits are fucking incredible. This one's just fun. It's good. I like it. Twist 2, it's a great time. Love it. Twist 3, I'm noticing a trend here that the Twist videos kind of get worse as they go, and that kind of does bum me up, but there will be a Twist 4 at some point. That is a fact. Twist 3, I'm probably going to keep right where it's at, actually. I think it's a solid video. It does the job. It's funny. It's different. It has a brand new character, Shayna, the real-life person. Shayna is a main character, and I believe this is her only lead role in all of NQJ. So Twist 3, just taking a lot of different things, I just find it funny. Like, it's just a really good video, and it was great. It was a fantastic video. Loved it. Cookie Travel, I think, fucking smacks. Cookie Travel is such a good video, and considering that Cookie Travel is actually a remake of a video that we made back in 2017, just speaks to how good it is when you retry something. Not necessarily a sequel, but just doing the same thing redone is great. It's literally a remaster. And it's fantastic. The writing is so fucking perfect in it. It's probably one of the funniest skits. And like I said, similar to Twist, the only reason why it's not up here is just because it just doesn't tell that story, you know? That big cinematic, novel-like storybook thing that you come to expect when actually watching a short film just doesn't exist in Cookie Travel. It's just very, very funny and very, very silly and stupid. Up next, we have probably a really huge fun fact that a lot of people don't know. I'm actually going to put Frog Infestation in a bit stinky. Now, the reason why... No, I'm just fucking around. Yeah, no, I think Frog Infestation genuinely, if you don't count the movie, is probably the best video. I don't think Frog Infestation will be topped for a while, and it sure as shit beats everything before it. Like yes, Taekwondo 3 is like a hard contender, same with these two videos right here, but like, Frog Infestation kicks the dick of every single video from like pretty good downwards. Like, it is so good. The fact it's not a sequel either is what makes it great. It's a fully realized original story with a funny protagonist, a intimidating villain, lots of fun cameos, voice acting, special effects, the writing. It actually tells a fucking story, which is pretty rare for NQJ standards. It's just great. Like, it's a perfect video. I would say that Frog Infestation is probably one of the only videos on this entire channel that I would probably give a 10 out of 10. I can give you a lot of reasons as to why I don't like these videos, but genuinely, Frog Infestation, I'm at a fucking loss. Every single negative I can tell you about Frog would be a nitpick. Like the fact that the bacon sizzling sound at the beginning phone call scene doesn't actually sound like bacon. That's it. That's the only thing in that whole skit that I don't like. The music video, although it's cringy, that's kind of the point, because it's meant to be made by Kermit. It's not meant to be like a fucking high-class Snoop Dogg production. It's just an overall just fantastic time, and I love it. NQJ the movie. I don't even know where to put this, because I feel like wherever I put it, I'm full of shit. Because it deserves to be right here, because of the amount of work that went into it. But honestly, God, as a video and as quality, I'd probably put it right here, because I just do like the story that Frog tells more than the NQJ movie. I don't know. NQJ the movie and Frog Infestation are pretty much tied for first. Like, you could really swap either of these around and I'd be okay with it, but just for the purpose that it's the fucking movie, I'm gonna put it number one. So NQJ the movie is actually two different stories combined. It tells the story about four boys split up into two groups. So you have me and Jacob, who go on a road trip to Cleveland to fight TikTok star White Claw Gabe at a Jake Paul fight. Fucking insane. You have the celebrity road trip as one plot line. And then you have Bryce and Isaiah going on a hunt to find the Infinity Stones. It's two insane ideas. And I just love it. I love I can't even talk. I can't describe how much I love this fucking video. The only thing I hate about it is the fact that it got copyrighted, because that is entirely my fault. It got copyrighted on YouTube, so you can't actually watch the NQJ movie on YouTube. You have to go to fucking X videos and find it yourself. Which sucks, because that means it's hard as shit to even watch the NQJ movie, let alone if someone even wants to take the time to care, because you can't put a link to a porn video in a YouTube description. But NQJ the movie is just a really good thing. It's great. The fact that it was even made in general is fucking insane, because I remember for the longest time saying that NQJ the movie will just simply not be a thing. But it was, and it kind of really kicks ass. The only thing I don't like, similar to Taekwondo 3, is the ending. I think the ending of NQJ the movie is the only genuine, like, major negative that I have with it. And it's not because the two stories doesn't match. And I'm like the only person who thinks this, but I kind of like the idea of the two stories not connecting. And the reason why is because there is zero fucking way that you would be able to mesh these two storylines and it still makes sense. Because how much of a fucking dud would it be? Tell me which one's better, okay? Nathan and Isaiah meet up after finding all the Infinity Stones and going to see a Jake Paul fight, right? And they just give each other a quick hello, hi. Or finding out that Quinn is goddamn dead. Like what is a more impactful ending? A little phone call saying, hey, how was your day? Oh, I collected the Infinity Stones. It'd be funny, but does it actually have that impact of Quinn death? Like, Quinn's fucking actual death. Like, is that really something that, like, is wanted? The NQJ movie tells two different stories, and I think until the very end, it does those flawlessly. The writing is on point, editing is great. There are so many fucking characters in this, to the point where I would love to make a 2 at some point, but I know that's just not going to happen, and I'm putting money that it's not going to happen, but NQJ the movie is standing up there and banger, and fuck all if something could beat it. All right, next we are at Poseidon's Wrath. Now, Poseidon's Wrath, I'm actually going to say it does the job. I think it's just a simple little video. This video was just kind of a test. It was just to test how well I can edit, because I think this was my first video that I edited. I think Yell 1 was Jacob's last, and then Poseidon's Wrath was my first. It was also, I think, the first ever skit to have Isaiah in it, just as an actual, like, character, not just some dude behind the scenes holding a camera. He was an actual voice actor in this first video. And I just think it's cool. Like, it's just, it does the job. It's just, you watch it, you have a good time, move on. Simple as that. Dreamworld is in desperate need of a sequel. Dreamworld 2 needs to fucking happen, and it will to some extent, and you'll know why in the future. Dreamworld 2, similar to whatever skit I talked about earlier, I think it was Yell, where I said it has a lot of low lows and a lot of high highs. There's a lot of things in it that I would probably put in pretty good, but there's a lot of stuff I'd put in shitter. And because of that, I'm probably going to put it in does the job. I think it's a really funny video. It just doesn't have, like, that holding power impact. The nightmare scene is fucking wild. The whole beginning is just so stupid with the whole sleepover idea, and just the dialogue is insane in this video. I just think it's not a quality sticking story that you'll get with even fucking Fingerbang 2 has, like, an actual impact. You know what I mean? Okay, now we get to Foresight. Foresight is kind of interesting because Foresight is just there. Like, Foresight was made to be a contest submission, if no one knows about this. That's why Foresight has its own actors list. It has locations that never returned again. It just has a lot of stuff that is just exclusive to Foresight, and even then, it's not that good. Honest to God, I don't really care for... I'm not keeping it in, so I'm just putting it there for now, but I don't really care for Foresight. I think it's a fantastic concept and idea, but I think it's just too whatever. Like, it just needs to be thought of again with much more, like, in-depth detail. Because I wrote it when I was at fucking school, a place I don't want to be at, so it's kind of shrugged, and that kind of hinders it. And I feel like, honest to God, I think it's at the very end of does the job. It's either the top a bit stinky or the bottom of does the job. Because it's cool, it's fun, but that's just kind of it. The acting is kind of shit. The editing is pretty damn good. I'll give it that. The editing is kind of fucking nuts. And that's because it was made in, like, an actual professional, like, $100 editing software. But honestly, God, Foresight is just kind of hit or miss, and I don't know, just kind of goes down the middle for me. Out of all of these skits that desperately need a remake, it is fucking Prank War. Prank War needs something, dude. We made Prank War 5 fucking years ago, and it has never had any form of follow-up. It's never mentioned in any skit. It's never had a sequel, a remake. It needs fucking something. Because if I could pick any skit to just delete from history and then remake it with the same cast, same location, everything, I would pick Prank War, no fucking question. Because it's such an amazing concept and is so impossible to recreate that it just pisses me off that this was the final result that we ended up with. There are 7 main characters in this. That is hard as fuck to get today. I'm lucky if I can get 3 people scheduled to line up to film a fucking skit, let alone the fact that we got 7 people in this shit. The fact that 2 of them are fucking weird assholes, and I will just fully talk shit about them, right? You know what? That's what we're going to do. We're going to talk some mad shit, okay? I'm not going to say who's who, but we're going to go with that. So you got Jacob, cool guy, right? We got one guy who I don't talk to anymore, one guy who I'm pretty sure is in fucking jail, one guy who I just don't really care to hang out with or talk to anymore. One guy I haven't seen in fucking 3 years. And the other guy is a piece of shit diphead. So, do with that information as you will. Prank War needs to be remade. Honest to God, if we can remake this video with the same roster of people, I know it's obviously impossible, but if we can remake this with the same roster, I would love to fucking do it again, because there are so many baffling fucking decisions in this in terms of editing. Like, the fact that every single song that appears sounds like it's so screechy and shitty, and the fact that it sounds like it's coming through 7 layers of microphones and speakers is what makes it just so terrible. Prank War, the concept, is a fucking banger. But if it were to be edited nowadays and written nowadays, dude, it'd be like right fucking here, man. But the way it went about it and the time it was made, honest to God, probably puts it at a bit stinky, because it just doesn't. Oh my, look at that, Prank War 2. But it just doesn't hit. You know, actually, I take that back. That might be kind of harsh. I'll put in the low does the job, mainly because the editing is so fucking trash in Prank War. But it just, I can't stress enough. I'm sounding like a broken record because I'm just saying the same thing over and over. It needs more. There needs to be a sequel. There needs to be a remake. There needs to be fucking something to Prank War, because there is so much potential that is just shitted out. Dr. Pepper 2 is actually pretty solid, I'd say, because Dr. Pepper 2 was a remake of a video that I actually made back in 2015. Think of that original idea that I had for Dr. Pepper 2 was made like 7 years ago. Fucking blows my mind. But it was an idea that I had when I was in middle school about just a character harassing another character with an obviously bullshit product just called Dr. Pepper 2. It's very obviously homemade, and it's just meant to scam people. That's what Dr. Pepper 2 is, and it's just a great video. And it also led to some confusion, I guess, because people thought it was a sequel to a skit called Dr. Pepper. It's not. It's an original called Dr. Pepper 2. I know it's a fantastic title. I could have called it anything else, the new Dr. Pepper or something like that. But Dr. Pepper 2 is a great fucking concept. It's just really simple. It's like prime NQJ. Dr. Pepper 2's concept would fit in flawlessly with the concept of the early videos, whereas character A harasses character B, go from there. The editing is really funny. The whole dark-ass ending is just ridiculous. It's just cool. It does the job, but it's also solid at the same time. I don't know. I like it. What would Jesus do? I kind of don't really give a shit about this video. I think What Would Jesus Do is probably the most forgettable video. I think it's also Johnny's first ever lead role and his only lead role. He was kind of half a lead role in the Yells, but solely him, it's just not that good, man. Where would I put it on here? I do like So Long 2 more. Is it better than Anime Sucks? Probably, or not really. I put it there, yeah. What Would Jesus Do is a video that's just really forgettable. I think it's probably the most forgettable skit on this list, maybe besides Bloppo coming up here in a sec. But it's just not that good, man. Like every time you watch it, it's like, okay, that's neat. I like it. That's fun. That's a good video. And then you're done watching. It's like, okay, what did I just happen? What just went down? I don't remember a single thing that I just watched. And that's what the What Would Jesus Do just concept is. It's forgettable. It doesn't do anything. And that's why it's kind of stinky. I know I'm not really making a whole lot of sense because I'm kind of bad at explaining shit. But it's just, that's what I'm saying, though. There's not much to explain. The quest for the Bloppo, I fucking hated when it came out because I thought it was so terrible and bad. It's meant to be a Blair Witch parody, kind of like how Twist was to Saw. But a lot of people just didn't get that, and they thought it was just a shitty vlog that was faked. Honest to God, I would probably put Bloppo pretty much right next to Comic Sans 2. Like, I think it works perfectly in, like, that regard. Because it's a funny video. If you watch the quest for the Bloppo today, it's still a good time. Like, it's funny. Seeing two teenagers walk around with gallons of semen is just a funny-ass concept because they're trying to find a demon. Like, it's funny. It just kind of needs to be remade. There's just a lot of skits on this channel that I'm really starting to realize that there just needs to be something else. There needs to be more follow-ups. Instead of making 4 of these videos, I need to make a 2 to this. You know what I'm saying? Handicap Thanksgiving. This fucking thing, this video is so divisive with everyone who fucking talks about it because me and Jacob disagree on this video hard. Jacob thinks it'd be like pretty good. I think it's like a bit stinky because yes, you have Ricky Berwick in it. That's funnier than hell, but it's really just a skit that has a very beautiful stock footage filled, not stock footage, a B-roll filled opening, but then the whole skit is just me cooking. Like, it's not that good. Like, it's still a great video. It's fantastically made. It's got fucking Ricky Berwick in it. You can't top that. But overall, it just kind of does the job, but because of Ricky Berwick, I have to put it up a little bit higher. I personally, hang on, I think Twist 3, my bad, should be kind of low. Yeah, I'm going to put Twist 3 right up here next to Twist 2. But Handicap Thanksgiving, I'd probably put it as right here, because I do not like it more than a single twist, but it is admittedly better than, say, like Dolphins 3 and Humphrey's Q&A and Fingerbang 2. But that's where it stays for now. Ghost Misadventures, I kind of feel bad ranking, because this was made to be a bonus video. This was not made to be something that we genuinely put our heart and souls into. It was made to just be a stupid-ass thing. That was the whole point of it. So I'm going to put it in Stinky because, like I said, it wasn't meant to be anything. This was meant to be a dumbass fucking thing full of nonsense. Is it funny? Yeah, it's a pretty funny-ass video. But I don't think it's better than anything and a bit stinky, to be fully honest with you. Next, we get to Motel. I feel kind of bad. Motel was directed by Quinn, and it was meant to be a, like, not comedy skit. A drama, I guess, not comedy. It was meant to be a drama, but it just doesn't do anything, you know what I mean? Like, it's very forgettable. There's nothing really in it that even necessarily, like, happens until the first, like, until the last 30 seconds. It's just kind of there. Like, it's very similar to Foresight. How it's like, it's there, whatever, move on. Like, that's what it is. I wouldn't say it's a shitter video, because it's very well done. Motel is a great video. It's a fun idea, and the editing is cool. So I wouldn't say, it's embarrassing, shut it off, because that's what I would probably say about all these videos. It's embarrassing, shut it the fuck off. Motel's not too bad, but it's definitely, like, not as good as stuff that came after, obviously. I do like it more than El Sharpay 1 and Ghost Misadventures, but Motel is just kind of eh. Spider-Man Before the Bite. This fucking thing was insane, because it was meant to be a two-parter. From day one, it was like, yes, let's make a two-parter Spider-Man skit. It's going to be great. Yeah, Spider-Man Before the Bite, when we made it, it was fucking incredible. It was one of the most professional videos that we've ever done. But it just really doesn't have that staying power. Like I said, it just needs to be redone. There's just a lot of things that just need to be touched on again. It needs to have that sequel, that long-awaited, dreadful-ass sequel. It needs something to give it that more of an impact, is what I'm trying to say. The whole beginning of it is so fucking great. Like, the whole, like, beginning montage is probably some of the best NQJ ever. Like just the editing, the music, the visuals, everything about it is flawless. It just gets dicked on at the very end because it just abruptly cuts off like a fucking, like the finale to Sopranos. But Spider-Man Before the Bite, it's a pretty good video, but it's just, there's a lot of stuff that kind of knocks it out of banger. Getting Wood. Okay, very, very similar to what did we talk about just a little bit ago? Handicap Thanksgiving. Getting Wood, I think, kind of sucks, but Jacob loves it. Like, I think that if Jacob were to make this list, he'd probably put it in pretty good, but I just think it's kind of a stinker. Like, I don't find that much enjoyment out of it. I'd probably say it goes right there. I just don't find any enjoyment out of it. It's very forgettable. It's not that funny, really. I don't know. The phone call, I'll give you this. The phone call at the very beginning of Getting Wood is fucking hilarious. But the video itself is just too forgettable, too short. It just doesn't do anything. You know what I mean? It doesn't give you the impact staying power that it should. In fact, I think Getting Wood was the first original video that came out in a while. It was pretty much a string of sequels, kind of like what we're in right now, but Getting Wood was the first original that happened in a while, and the fact that it was only like 4 minutes long, it felt like, or it felt incredibly short, it just wasn't that good. Maybe it does the job. I'd probably say it does the job, but I don't think it's better than Bloppo or the Comic Sans videos. Getting Wood is just kind of there. Now we have the Aristocrats. Now, the Aristocrats is a different video because, similar to Ghost Adventures or Misadventures, it's not meant to be serious. This wasn't meant to be a genuine skit that we put our heart into. the Aristocrats Joke is something that is just so fucking funny to me because it's a joke that stand-up comedians use as like a rite of passage. The Aristocrats Joke is a joke that you entirely make up yourself, but it has to be a family doing an act and performing in front of a talent agency. However, what the act is has to be the most vile and disgusting thing imaginable, and it's something that you make. My version was this. This was my version of the Aristocrats Joke, and I made it because of Gilbert Gottfried's passing, because he was the one who actually made it like a thing. He made the Aristocrats Joke a big deal. He was the one who pretty much made it popular, because his version is like fucking 11 minutes long, and it's just great. However, in terms of skits, it's pretty fucking terrible, because it's not meant to be a good video. It's meant to just be a simple little funny thing for fun. But honest to God, I'd probably put it down here. I would probably rather watch though just out of the humor more than these videos right here, but I think that's where it's good. And yeah, we're not doing the original Dolphins 3. But yes, that is where this is going to lead off. This is my official NQJ skit tier list, and it's also a ranking as well. So I think Mr. Facebook is the worst video on the channel, followed pretty much immediately by Dolphins. It's kind of a tie between these two. Dolphins 2, Finger Bang, Dumb Factor, you know, this one and this one all kind of are a little bit better, but these two right here are the fuck yous. And the only reason this one gets an excuse is because it's the first video. This one was the third video we created. We should have learned how to make something at least halfway decent by now. So if you enjoyed this, you know, the buttons are down there, and have a good one, so goodbye, thank God.